Mother's Day, Mother's Day. I've done ministry long enough in enough locations with enough people over the years to know that Mother's Day for some is a wonderful time of celebration. It's just exciting and it's awesome and people love it because they had great moms. Other people for Mother's Day, it stirs up pain. It just does. It stirs up pain. I worked with young adults and students for quite a few years, and there were some mothers who were absent. One kid I worked with in particular, his mother literally was drug addict, alcoholic. I mean, it was awful. I mean, she ended up passing away young from overdosing on drugs. This is a few years after that. And Mother's Day always stirred up just like this bitterness and frustration, like he missed out on something he was supposed to have. For others, Mother's Day just reminds you that your mom's passed away. She was a great lady, but she's not here now. And so what I want to do this morning is I want to talk about Mother's Day, but I want to do it from kind of this altruistic perspective. And here's what I mean by that. If you had a great mom, that's awesome. We celebrate with you. If you had a mom that dropped the ball, that let you down, that abandoned you, went through something difficult, you may be watching online, you may be listening on the radio, whatever. If you've had a mother that in whatever way really let you down, that gap that you feel in your spirit, the hole in your heart where you're going, I wish I would have had, that part right there, that absence, I want to speak through that absence to the altruistic piece that you wish you would have had your hands on and experienced. I want to speak to that. Here's kind of the big idea. It's going to take me a few sentences to get all the way through this, but it's this. We live in a world, so think of like the altruistic mother, not your mother, the altruistic mother, like what right, selfless, maternal love should be. Not necessarily your mom, but what right, maternal, selfless love should be. I want to speak to that. So hang on to that. We're going to come back to it. We live in a world where people want rights and no responsibility. Pause. Isn't this so true? I mean, this is like from sensuality on college campuses. They want the right to do whatever they want with no responsibility. And I was looking for this article. I read it a while back. It was actually comical. A bunch of, like animal rights activists were, I wish I would have found the article. It's comical in light of this. Like college student animal rights activists, they went to a park way out west somewhere, like some state park where they were getting ready to kill off, I think it was a bunch of predators, like wolves or something. And so they're out there and they're picketing, don't kill animals, animal cruelty, this is terrible. They're just making this huge, big scene. Okay, so this article, that had happened. The state got involved and somehow got the picketers out there, and the actual people who are educated and work out there in the park go out, kill these wolves. And after time, of course, then the population of the other animals starts coming up. The park becomes more healthy. Actually, more plant life has come. All these great things have happened, right, because of the wolves that were killed off that these people were protesting didn't happen. And I thought, how interesting is it, right? Like, they want all the say with no realization of the responsibility, right? So when mama deer is killed and all those little baby deer don't have one because of the overpopulation of the wolves out there, what are you going to do? Take that little fawn back to your dorm room? I mean, they want all kinds of rights, but no real understanding of responsibility or what it really takes to make things be healthy in general, right? This is such a great picture of our culture. I can even bolster this with the countless, I write for the newspaper, I'm a pastor of a large church, our sermons are on the radio, and they're streamed online. Like, I have people that write in quite often, I get to see stuff. I can't tell you how many times I have had people passionately tell me about how we need to do more for immigrants or do more to help out the poor. And I've gotten to the point, I've said this a dozen times, I've gotten to the point where I just reply with, how much have you given to the poor? And then I love it because the natural response is, that's none of your business, which means I'm actually doing nothing. I just want to let my ideas be heard. I'm doing nothing. I'm not actually going to go down and help the poor. I'm not actually going to get to know real immigrants and spend time with them and hear their story, but I really want my ideas to be heard. And in fact, I think you need to do more because I really care about it, but I'm out. right? This is it right here. We live in a world where people want rights and no responsibility. They don't want the responsibility, but they want the rights. All right, so moreover, most people only choose responsibility. Now, catch this. They only choose responsibility when they believe it will give them money, influence, or power. So most people only decide to actually take responsibility on if they believe it's going to give them more money, influence, or power. Then they'll be responsible. Is it going to make me famous? Am I going to get paid a whole lot for it? Then I'll do it. All right, now, contrast this with, now I'm using the word altruistic on purpose, right? So with the altruistic view of selfless maternal love, okay? The maternal way of viewing the world, all right? Now notice this. The maternal, right? So not your mom, but like this altruistic right idea of what a mom should be. True selfless love, that in mind. Not necessarily your mom, maybe your mom, but not necessarily your mom. The maternal way of viewing the world is different, and it isn't just for moms. It's choosing to be selflessly responsible, even if it costs you cultural significance. Like, I'm going to step up, I'm going to be engaged, I'm going to serve, I'm going to make a difference, even if I never become famous, even if I never get wealthy off of it, even if my cultural influence never increases, I'm going to do it because it's right. I'm going to love and be there because it's right. That may be your mom, and it may not be. But if it wasn't your mom, it doesn't mean that that's not the way a mom should be. And it doesn't mean that your heart doesn't long for it. All right, so let me speak to a couple of different groups this morning on Mother's Day. Or let me say it like this. Mother's Day isn't about perfection. Mother's Day isn't about perfection. It's not. Mother's Day isn't about being perfect necessarily. It's a time to acknowledge the hunger in us to be fully loved and fully accepted, even while being corrected. This is what we want, man. We want to be loved and accepted, even while being corrected, right? Like we want a safe place to know right maternal love. Okay, let me speak to a couple of different groups before we jump into this. If you had an awesome mom, listen, if you had an awesome mom, I get it. If you had an awesome mom, we hear you and we share in your joy. As a church family, we love it. If you grew up and your mom was amazing and always there, always present, helped out with whatever you needed, you'd call her anytime. She's the best mom ever. If that's true of you, that's awesome. We share in your joy, right? That's great. Now, if your mom abandoned you, right? Let's say you're on the other end of the spectrum. And I've worked with enough people over the years. This is true of a lot of people. And abandonment might not necessarily mean not live at home. Abandonment might be like their heart isn't present and you know it. Or their love isn't present. Sometimes abandonment isn't even because they're bad, it's just because of hardship that's come. They've battled with massive depression, and because of that, they really weren't there. Or they had this like eternal identity crisis, and like they're trying to be your mom, but they're also trying to be this like really successful woman, and so they're kind of half present in the home, and their intentions were good, but because of it, they still just weren't there in a way that you wish they would have been. Or let's say that your mom passed away and she was an amazing lady. It's not like she abandoned you on purpose, but because of a fallen, broken world, you feel abandoned even if it wasn't on purpose or because she was bad. You feel this. If your mom has left you, abandoned you, you feel abandoned in whatever way, for whatever reason, we hear you and we share in your pain. We want to share in your pain. That's what the church should do. We should share in our pain together. All right, how about this? If you have a huge family, listen, okay, I get it. If you have a huge family or you're from a huge family with lots of really obedient children that do whatever you want, like you have the perfect family, I want you to know this. We don't believe you. We don't believe you, but we still love you. Like maybe your heart so desires to have the perfect home that you're even going to exaggerate and lie about your home continually. I want you to know we love you, and what I see in you is still that hunger for right maternal love. I see it. I still see it. I still see it. Whether you're angry, whether you really had it, or whether you lie about it, our hearts are all aiming after that same end goal. Or what about this? If you have no children, and you've tried over and over again, I've been in the church long enough to know this. There are people out there, you don't even want to come to Mother's Day because for whatever reason, you haven't been able to be a mom, and something inside of your heart longs to be that maternal, right, loving mother to somebody. And you might be the person sitting out there going, man, we have prayed and we have cried and we have asked God, and this has never happened in a way that I would love to be this mother, and for whatever reason, I haven't had it yet. If this is you, if you have no children, have tried over and over again, we love you and we want to weep with you. But today, I want to show you a different perspective. We weep with you. If you are great, here, the next group, if you are great living single, I did, of course, young adult ministry. If you are great living single and you don't want to feel, the reason you don't like Mother's Day is because you feel all this pressure. I got all this pressure. I mean, I'd love to be married, but I ain't got no one. Lord, I'm down if you want to do this. Or maybe you're going, I don't even want to be married. Listen, if you are great living single and don't want to feel the pressure and don't want to feel the pressure to marry and have children, we remember that even the Apostle Paul himself says that the single life lived rightly will be awesome and full of purpose. It will be. Listen, single is not evil. Single can be amazing. Single can be awesome. Single can be so God-honoring. Single can change the world. Some of the best missionaries, some of the best leaders that we have ever met have been single people. Being single can be so powerful. I did young adult singles ministry for a number of years. Some of the most amazing people I've ever met have been in this camp. But that doesn't mean that it abdicates you from loving people rightly. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. So, what I want to do is I'm going to show you a video here in just a second. And when you watch this video, if you're walking into this video and all you have is bitterness from what you didn't get, you're going to watch it and you're going to go, oh, Mother's Day, it just makes me feel pain, frustration. I want you to watch this and I want you to see the little glimpses of what right, selfless love is supposed to be. Check this out.
And right there's the heartbeat.
Do you have any kids?
3, actually.
Wow, that sounds crazy.
Crazy in the best way possible.
So what's it like being a mom?
Mom, I ain't feeling too good.
Oh no. It's okay, Sugar Bear. Let's just go in there.
Sorry, Mom.
Oh, it's okay, sweetie. Next time, we'll just run to the washer.
Why are you watching me sleep?
'Cause you're my baby boy and I love you.
It's still creepy, Mom.
So, does this mean you're grounded for the rest of your life? Yes. Yes, it does.
So in the future, you and I can just refer to it as the monthly visitor.
stupid. Why am I so stupid?
What did you just say to my son?
What?
My son is not stupid. My son is smart. He was formed by God's hands. He was dreamed up by his heart, and he was placed in this world with a purpose. You, my son, could never be stupid.
What? Mom would never do something like that. She's way too predictable.
I know, right?
How's that for predictable, Nostradamus?
There's so much to do. The summer's gonna go by so fast, and we still have to pick out my dorm room furniture.
Slow down.
What?
Maybe I'm not ready to let you go yet.
Mom,
Yes, Mom. That's who I am. Is it so bad that I just want to take care of you forever?
you already have. Everything you've done for me, everything you've taught me. I'll take it with me wherever I go. You have taken care of me. For life.
So what's it like being a mom?
How much time you got?
Being a mom. And by being a mom, I don't mean necessarily being mom. I mean knowing and experiencing and giving maternal love, receiving and being able to give right maternal love. Being in a situation where you aren't just receiving love and you know what it tastes like to have somebody really be for you. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about also being able to give that and being truly for someone. Not just receiving it, but giving it. Romans 16, 1 through 4, we read this earlier. I'm going to read this again. I love it. It says, I commend you, our sister Phoebe, a servant of the church of Cenchrea, that you may welcome her in the Lord in a way worthy of the saints and help her in whatever she may need from you. For she has been a patron of mine, of many, and myself as well. Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my fellow workers in Christ Jesus, who risked their necks for my life, to whom not only I give thanks, but all the churches of the Gentiles give thanks as well. Okay, now, this is one of those texts, I love reading through the Bible and studying it. This is one of those texts where if you don't stop and pay attention to it, you can miss its meaning. Paul, the author of this, has lost everything. In fact, the first couple of words, I'm going to throw this up here. I don't know, you pick on me if you want. I'm going to actually throw the Greek on the screen. And it's really important, again, if you don't know this. Now listen, I have a few degrees in Bible, yes, but I'm not a true Greek scholar. Like my professors could open up literally a Greek New Testament and read from it. Imagine doing your devos in Greek, right? I still need my tools. But the first part of this is this. It's espousame Priscilla kai akulos. Espousame, right? So it's the greeting. Priscilla, the first name, kai akulos, right? Those are the first few words of this. This is really important in Greek, and you miss it if you don't know it. So if you're taking notes, write it in Greek. That's the only way it counts, right? I'm just kidding. But what we see here is we see Paul give a strong greeting to who? Not just this family, but it starts maternally with the woman. Greet her. Why is this such a big deal? Here's why. Her name is mentioned first. This is Paul's, pay attention to this, new family. This is new family. Have you ever stopped to think about everything that Paul lost? If you've ever been abandoned, If you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever felt let down by even somebody as close as your mom or your family, I want you to know this. Paul lost his home. Paul lost his honor. After he became a follower of Christ, he lost respect from his peers. He lost trust among his peers. And as far as we can tell, there's speculation. I'm speculating this, but as far as we can tell, there is no mention of his immediate family having any connection with him again. So when Paul writes these letters, he basically says, to my new family. If you feel like an outcast, if you feel rejected from your biological family, you are in good company. You most likely stand shoulder to shoulder with the most prolific New Testament writer. You do. I'm going to invite Josh up and we're going to be done in just a minute. We are, listen to me so clearly. We are called to be the family of God. We're called to be the family of God. Because there are people here that don't have family. Listen, this is why you really can't just go to church once a year on Christmas or Easter and really be the church. I mean, can you imagine if a dad only went and visited his family just Christmas or just Easter? You think the kids are going to grow up feeling like they're part of the family? This is why you can't just sneak in and sneak out and not really be a part of it, not really connect, not really get to know. Yes, I want you to know, small groups are awkward. So is your family. Crazy Aunt Susie? Hopefully there really isn't a crazy Aunt Susie out there. I love you. There is, right? So is your family, man. But you know who is there for you? Your family. And when Christ brings you, when he opens his arm up and he says, come home. I mean, the way Paul writes this is so beautiful because it is the new place in which he is experiencing deep, maternal, compassionate love at a new level because he knows abandonment. So if you come from a great home with great parents, we celebrate with you. But you should be offering that love to others. If you come from a really, really broken home, we weep with you and we welcome you into the family. Now, this isn't me. It's not me saying this. John 1:22. 1 John 3, 1 through 2, Ephesians 2, 19 through 22, Galatians 6:10, John 1, 12 through 13, Romans 8, 16, Galatians 4, 4 through 5. I could go on and on and on. And this is a Galatians 4 text. I love this. Are you ready? But when the fullness of time had come, right? At the right time, Kairos, when it was right, when things were right, at the right time, God had come. God sent forth his son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those, to bring back into the fold those who are under the law. Now notice this next. I love this. So that, this is the reason, the purpose, so that we might receive what? Adoption as sons. You have a family. You have a family. You have a family. Listen to me. You have a family. Remember, Mother's Day, it isn't about perfection. Mother's Day isn't about perfection. It's a time to acknowledge the hunger in us a hunger in us, the desire that is born deep within us. I mean, it's DNA based, the hunger in us to be fully loved and fully accepted, even while being corrected. We desire to be in a family. We all do. Couple thoughts. First, who are you being family for? See, what we do is we have a tendency to do this. Poor me. Poor me. I didn't get the family that I was supposed to be in. My mom let me down. My family let me down. My mom died. I had a great mom, but she said, oh, poor me. Everything's terrible. This is awful. My life is so bad. You're not just called in your heart, literally internal called to be in it. It's not just in you, called into it. You are called to also bring that, literally to bring the kingdom of God, to bring the way in which God does life. You are to bring it into the world. Who are you being family for? Who are you being family for? Let me give you a couple examples. One of my friends that's in the ministry too, actually both these are friends of mine that are in the ministry, 2 examples I have. Him and his wife got married and they wanted children. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen, and it didn't happen. They paid lots of money, and it didn't happen. They longed to be parents. I mean, it's like a hunger in them, this desire to give that maternal love. They desire to give this, and it's not there. And they pray, Lord, by your grace, we want to be able to show your love. We want to be great godly parents. We want to honor you. Why won't you let this happen? You ever prayed with people in that spot? That's painful. Reluctantly, they shifted gears. They felt so called to offer this love somewhere. They shifted gears and decided to take in older foster kids. Now, if you know the system very well, you know that the kids that weren't adopted usually weren't adopted. Now, this isn't always true, but sometimes they're not adopted for a reason. Like there's something difficult going on, or they just miss her, they bounce around a lot of homes for whatever reason. They just kind of float in the system a long time. And some of them can be difficult situations, a lot of bitterness, there's like repressive stuff. It's hard to adopt at that age. They did it. Did you also know that if you wanted to adopt an older kid, you could just about go out and do it now? The need is so high. They did it. And they began to take this love to people who didn't have it, to take maternal, and I don't mean your mom maternal, I mean altruistic maternal, to take that selfless maternal love. They took it like a gift, like a Christmas package on Sunday morning, wrapped up, going in and saying, here, open this. And these kids open it up, and what they find is family. Family. They weren't just bitter about what they didn't have. They decided to be that love and give it to the people that God has brought to them. What about this? Another one. Another ministry lady I know. She's actually a little older than me. We were in school together, but she was older than I was. Did undergraduate together. We went to different graduate schools. She wanted to be married, wanted to have kids, wanted to do the mom thing, and didn't get married in college. Didn't get married after college. Didn't get married. And it just hung on. She was always good-spirited about it. And she had lots of really good friends. I mean, she was social. She did fine. But it just never happened for whatever reason. But she wanted it so bad. She felt called to be a missionary. It's a true story. Felt called to be a missionary. Was a little nervous that because she was single, it might be harder to get overseas, but it all ended up working out. God opened the doors. Heads overseas as a missionary. Wish she could have been married going overseas as a missionary, but that door didn't open up. You're kind of going, all right, God, what's the deal? How do we make this happen? Lands in a foreign country, true story, gets to know the people there, finds out that there's an AIDS home, kids that have AIDS. At this point, she's like, don't have a husband, don't have any kids. I guess I'll be the one to go and help them. What is there to lose? So she walks into this clinic, this AIDS place, and like a Christmas gift with a bow, she gives family to these kids that have none of it. And these lonely children open this up, like Christmas morning, open it up, and they find something in there so much better than a new pair of shoes or socks. They find selfless maternal love, given in a way that she didn't expect to ever give it. Now, all these years later, she's adopted one of the kids and she's helping him out. It's absolutely amazing. I love the Facebook posts that I get to see. Not because she grew bitter at what she didn't get, but because she chose to be an avenue, an agent, a mechanism that brought selfless love into the world. Is it possible God has given you a family to participate in? Hear me. Is it possible that God has given you a family to participate in, but bitterness has kept you from doing so? Bitterness of what you lost or what you didn't have has kept you from participating in the family God has put in front of you. We are called to invite people into Christ's family. We're called to do it. Listen to me. Church on Sunday morning, man, this is not like going to the movies. You don't just show up and watch a good show and go, man, that was awesome. That was a really good, it was entertaining. I mean, Josh is so talented, and he really is, and the band is great. And Pastor Mike, I can bear with him. He throws out some Greek. I don't like the language stuff, but he's cool too, I guess. It's not going to a movie. You don't leave here evaluating it going, oh, yeah, that was pretty good. It's A, B, I give it a B minus. I mean, you're not going to the movies. You know what you do? When you come in here, you come into a living room, a family that's together. You bleed and hurt together. You celebrate and have joy together. You be together. But you got to choose to participate. To get in a small group, to show up to your D group, to be involved in Sunday school or whatever mechanism it is. You choose, I'm going to step into this. And then the rest of the church family is called to bring it too. This is family. I need to be done. Next steps, your next steps card. When you come to church, you guys know this that have been a part of the church for the last number of years. Next steps, you don't just come to listen to a sermon. You don't just come to listen to a sermon. You come to grow. So in the back of the chair in front of you, there's the next steps card. Grab it, pull it out, make sure everybody has one. I will wait. I love you. I will wait. Make sure everybody has the next steps card. Get it, pass it out. Next steps. All right, here's what I got for you. Pass it out, pass it out. Next steps. What's this mean for you? Here are the questions. Are you ready? Is bitterness, the first question I have is this, is bitterness standing in the way of you participating in the family God has laid before you? Is it? Is some bitterness from the past keeping you from engaging with right love in the relationships God has placed before you? Now, here's the next steps card part. Will you commit? Will you commit to participate in the family God has given you? Now, this might actually mean, a couple of years ago, a guy showed up, is before I moved here. It's been more than 5 years ago now. I don't know how long I can keep using a couple, but before I moved here, I had a guy pop into my office who abandoned his wife and wife and child, because he felt tied down and he didn't love her anymore and all the same stuff I get to hear, which is crap. Can I say crap in church? Am I in trouble? Okay, yeah, just crap. It was just crap. Like, I'm so tired of hearing that. You know, make love work. Right? Like, I mean, I get so tired of that. But he tells me that. So when I'm telling him, will you commit to participate in the family God has given you? I'm literally looking at this guy eye to eye going, go home. Go home. Go participate literally in the biological family that you have. Go home and love your kid, man. What are you doing? This is why I'm a bad counselor. I'm a bad counselor. Listen, you want to go sit down with somebody that's going to go, oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way. And instead I go, stop it. Right? That's the counseling I do. I'm a bad counselor. Don't come to me for counseling. I'll pray with you and I'll tell you what I think about stuff, but I don't know if it'll help. Right? Go home. That was my advice. Instead of hearing him out or all the whys, I told him to go home. Now listen, will you commit? Will you commit to participate in the family God has given you? And here's what I want you to do on your card. I want, by the power of God and His Holy Spirit, I believe that He will speak literal names to you. Are there people, it may be your own biological family, but it also might be a neighbor that you've been mentoring. It might be a niece or a nephew that you know is in a really broken spot, and you are the only father figure or the only mother figure that this person has. It might be a brother or a sister, younger, older, whatever it is, a place. Is there a place? You might be a school teacher and it's with your students in the classroom. Is there a place that you know in your heart God is calling you to be the avenue, the mechanism that brings this selfless maternal love into the world? And what I want you to do over the next minute or two is I want you to look at that card and I want you to write names out of people that you commit to love. You need to look at that list. You need to look at that list and go, write it out and look at it and go, I commit. I have committed. I will love. Maybe it is your biological children. Write that down. I will love my son. Whatever it takes, I will not quit on them. Maybe for you, it's a niece or a nephew, somebody. Who is God calling you to bring this love into the world with? Like Paul, who didn't find it in his biological family, it doesn't even necessarily have to be biological. But you are called to be a mechanism of it. So take a moment before the Lord on the card, and here, after you're done, in a symbolic, powerful way, we're going to come up and we're going to lay those cards at the altar in the baskets like we do every week. You're going to take your list of names and go, God, I give these people to you. I commit to them. I commit to them. I commit to show your love to them as best as I can to your glory and your honor. Where I drop the ball, you fill the gaps. I commit to give my best. Write the names on there, and in a moment, Josh will lead you through it. You can bring them up and drop them off in the basket. Listen, I want you to know, hear me clearly, second service of this campus, I love you. And I want you to love the world rightly back. So do it.
We just want to thank you for watching the sermon online. If God is working in your heart, we would love to hear about it. You can go online, www.encountertrinity.com/nextstepscard. You can fill out information there. Let us know what God is doing in your heart. If you need help with anything, we would love to help. Counseling, we would love to do anything that we can to help you go to that next level spiritually. When you fill this out, it goes to one of our pastors. It is private, and we will take care of that information to the best of our ability. We love you, we care about you, and we want to see God do great things in your life. Have a great day.